Hello friends, and welcome back to another figure study where we appreciate the form in Transformers. And today we're taking a look at Striker Manus. Yeah, I got my hands on I couldn't resist, really. I, like virtually everyone else who does any kind of videos on Transformers, have gotten my hands on this guy. And there's a good reason for that. Now, funny enough, I wasn't actually originally thinking of getting Striker Manus because of the vehicle mode. And I mean, all things considered, it's not a terrible vehicle mode. It's, it's obviously Optimus Prime. Got Optimus Prime red and blue and everything separated out like it normally is with this truck. So, all that's fine. And it's actually, I'm guessing because of the fact that this hood on top comes off and turns into a gun, I'm pretty sure it's meant to be sort of like an pseudo homage to Classics Optimus Prime, which I don't actually own, but I've seen enough of to be familiar with. But there's one main reason why I was hesitant to get this guy, and I'll get into that in a second. But looking at everything else, the colors are very nice. Mostly blue and red, a little bit of silver, a little bit of gray. And as is typical with MakeToys, there's just molded detail all over the freaking place. Back, sides, the top, everywhere. He is... there's like this... up close, he is a good-looking truck. Lots of just little bits here and there that look pretty nice. These little vent details on the side there. The nice blue for the windows, which I know not everyone is a fan of how it looks like it's just crammed with electronics. You can't actually get anyone to drive it, but I'm okay with that. I think it looks fine, and it kind of ties into the whole, like, vaguely Cybertronian look that this guy has going. So yeah. Looks good, except... well, okay. Before I get into the except, even like the front here, we've got the lights and the grill and all that. It all looks good. There is some very nice molded detail in there and some very nice paint, which is oddly atypical for for a lot of the MakeToys figures that I have, because they tend to do a really good job just sort of separating things out based on plastic colors, opposed to actually doing much painting. But there is some paint here, which I do appreciate, and any figures that have silver for the wheel rims, I can absolutely be okay with. Now, the big thing that made me hesitate on this guy is this. This weird pushed-in front gap thing is just... I don't much care for that. Like, in hand, it's okay. It's not as terrible as I thought and as I was expecting. And really, it's a very cool figure regardless. But I'm still, even though it's better, I still just don't... I do not like that little bit there. Don't like it one bit. Don't like that bit one bit. It breaks up the silhouette of the truck to a point where it just looks wrong to me. Like, from this angle, you can see there's like this... basically looks like there's a chunk that's been taken out of the front. And when viewed from the side, it doesn't... it could have been better. I don't know. Based on the engineering, I'm not entirely sure what they could have done to fix that. But it's a disappointing detail in an otherwise very solid truck mode. Which, it is what it is. But really, the main reason why everyone sings praises about this figure has nothing to do with the vehicle mode anyway, and we're going to get right into that. Right, now this right here, this is awesome. This is why everyone loves Striker Manus. This is why I love Striker Manus. This is why you'll likely love Striker Manus if you get your hands on him. This robot mode is amazing. Now, it's, obviously Optimus Prime. Lots of little Optimus Priminess to him, elements to him, like just the blue legs with the silver vents, the yellow knees, the grayish silver here, the grill in the stomach area, the truck windows and the chest, the head, which we'll see closer in a minute, smokestacks on the shoulders, the pistons in the arms, the blue hands, like just everything about this is obviously Optimus Prime, but this is, again, in MakeToys' specific aesthetic, which is what is so great about this, because it's obviously supposed to be Optimus Prime, but they weren't worried too much about being, you know, incredibly accurate to a specific version of him. It's more, they just went with their own kind of approach, and this is always where I think their work is the strongest, when they just do their own interpretations. And here, it is fantastic. I mean, just not just with details, but like the overall shape. He's more angular. He's got more of a texture to him because of just all these little bits here and there. And he's very cool. You know? Get a little bit closer here so we can take a look at his head. That is definitely an Optimus Prime head. But he's got almost like a little bit of a Super Robot Gundam kind of aesthetic going, with like all these extra angles and stuff, and these like two separate ear bits that one kind of fans out slightly, so when you're looking at him from the front, it adds a little bit more to that shape. Some nice painted details in there. Yeah, he's a good looking Prime. And I like how the faceplate has these just that little bit of extra in there, so it's not just like one solid silver piece. He actually has like two little bits in the front that just add a little bit more texture and just visual interest to it. And of course you got the eyes, which they're a nice light blue, but the problem is they're a very similar shade to the faceplate, so sometimes in some lighting it can be kind of difficult to pick them out. But yeah, it's alright. And of course, you know, he's got all the detail in the face that you need from an Optimus Prime. And then looking a little bit closer at the electronic junk going on in the behind the windows there, you can see he's got a matrix, which is cool, I guess. And then there's the grill for the stomach, and these little canister bits, which, I mean, they did some kind of fudging here and there, because like the gas canisters for the vehicle mode actually flip up into his side there. But yeah, he's a good looking robot. And you can see he's just got all these interesting little details, like his thighs have these nice little strips here that just add more visual interest to them. And there's the, you know, all the detail in the legs here. Just these like little rivets here and there. All this really nice line work. More stuff going on down here, and I like how this piece comes down and covers up one of those wheels. And this is on both legs, of course. The feet even look pretty cool. I kind of actually really like the sort of two-toed thing they have going there. And then moving back up to the arms. He's got these big chunky shoulders. With a little bit of nice silver there. I really like the style of these elbows. How he's got these interesting little, like, you know, gray bits that just look like cool robot joints. Unfortunately, it bends a little bit funky, but it still looks cool. And of course, even from the front, it adds just like that little bit of interest there, and like the crook of the elbow, just a little bit of color differential. And then the pistons in the arms, which always look nice, and the fists. And I also do like these panels on the side here. Like on Classics Prime, I always thought they were annoying to see, but here they work really well because they're actually pretty tiny, so they don't really get in the way of the forearm at all. And there's some nice detail in there, which is good because on the other side, there's the side of the truck, so all that just kind of hides away, and you're left with just a nice little kind of pattern on there. So yeah, Striker Manus is a good-looking robot. And now, again, why isn't he standing? Come on. Stand. Stand. Stand good. Stand well. Alright. That works. So yeah, with regards to accessories, you know, there's does the thing that I love that figures do when all the accessories incorporate either into robot or vehicle mode, and so you don't have to worry too much about storage. So, for example, there's the top hood scoop, whatever you want to call it, of the truck that, as I'm sure everyone expects, folds up and converts into, push this out, folds up and converts, there we go, into his rifle, which is very cool, and also typical of the classics Optimus Prime, from what I understand, so that is neat. And it works the same way as other MakeToys figures, where he's got that kind of channel in his hand there, and then there's like a little kind of slot thing on the handle, so you can just guide it right in there, guide it right in there, guide it right in there. Yeah. And then, even with his hand open, it's not going anywhere. I always like that. They did it with Cupola. They're doing it with Striker Manus. I'm cool with that. So then, of course, he's got his rifle, which is great. But I also really love how these smokestacks on either shoulder pop right off. Both of them do this and function as axes. And now I have a bit of a pain. Like, it's always hard for me to get the axes into his hands for some reason. Like, the channels just don't want to line up like as easily as they do with the gun. And I don't know if it's just because I, for whatever reason, can't get the angles right, or if it's something to do with the actual production, but he can still hold it just fine. So, we've got options, which is great. And again, I love the look of this guy. And then there's also, with the axe gone, you can see there's like a little bit more shoulder detail up there, which looks really nice. And then, of course, there's the fact that he is super duper posable, which is the reason why virtually everyone else loves this guy. And really the reason why I love him too, because he's just cool. So yeah, you can pivot things around, get all fancy with him. Let's a little bit more maybe. And then he also has, because of transformation, a little bit of a crunch there. I know how much everyone loves the ab crunch. I'm no exception. So yeah, Striker Manus is very, very cool. I mean, I really like when MakeToys does their own thing with familiar designs, and I am absolutely on board with this. You had better freaking believe I'm planning on getting my hands on Riot or Despotron when he becomes available. Really looking forward to that one because he looks fantastic. And yeah, this is fantastic. This is great. I love this particular line. Is off to a really strong start. And based on the documentation that I got in the box with Striker Manus, it looks like they're planning a few other characters in this, what do they call it, like cross dimensions or something like that, in this line, in this sort of design aesthetic. Like some of the Seekers, like I think I saw, I know I saw Starscream in there, and I think I saw Skywarp too. And there may have been a Ratchet. I really don't remember, and I don't really feel like digging it out of the box right now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where MakeToys goes with this line because, I mean, dang. This rendition of Optimus Prime looks fantastic, is really posable. The truck mode is kind of just because of that gap in the front, but other than that, so cool. Oh, and wanted to point this out. The back even cleans up really nice. He's got this, the back of the truck, or the front of the truck becomes his back, but it cleans up so nicely that it like just makes this really very little backpack there. And I also forgot to mention, which I will now, I really like how these wheels tuck up into his torso, and they both fill out the torso and just make for just a cool look. So yeah, Striker Manus is great, and just the whole the style of the Cross Dimension line is something I'm really looking forward to seeing more of. I think if you're into MakeToys thing of, you know, really kind of going, like doing something a little bit different, like going with their own kind of interpretation a little bit more than some other companies tend to, then you're probably really going to like this line. And Striker Manus is every bit as awesome as everyone else has been saying. He is very cool. Very glad to have him, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting him next to his arch nemesis whenever that eventually comes out. So anyway, that has been my look at MakeToys Striker Manus. Thank you everybody for watching. As per usual, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Any combination of those three would make me a happy Rob. And remember, art is more than meets the eye.